we deal with monitoring human rights specifically in conflict situations. So where there's a war going on, how do you make sure that human rights are being adhered to? I think there are two things that we've really accomplished this year. One of them is bringing a lot of attention to the al-Swidi inquiry. That's a big public inquiry coming out of allegations about what the UK military was up to in Iraq in terms of the treatment of prisoners, some prisoners that were in fact killed. That's something that the media hasn't been particularly interested in. No other NGOs have really followed, and I think we've done a good job of highlighting it and bringing it to the attention of the public. In a kind of different vein, we've also done some policy work on the legal framework for inquiries. So when are inquiries public? What kinds of criteria are looked at when the government decides? We submitted evidence and then testified before the Parliamentary Select Committee. And I think their report will come out soon, but I think in retrospect, our input into that process is going to be a really positive thing from last year. I think the two big things are the political hostility to human rights, the fact that the media has really taken against human rights and uses the expression essentially when there's something they don't like and individuals that they don't like, people don't like the idea. I think it's not so much human rights that people don't like, it's the people who are invoking those human rights that people are hostile to. Of course, it's different because this government, this coalition, has also been, I would say, relatively hostile to human rights. Going forward, of course, that's going to be an ongoing challenge. As we go into the election, probably that rhetoric will get even stronger. With Rights Watch UK and other NGOs, the challenge is to fight back against that with some positive stories and counter things that are said that are misleading or downright untrue. Of course, the second challenge is how to raise the funds that you need to keep on doing the work that has to be done. When times of austerity hit, everyone has less to give, and generally the need is greater, so it's not a great confluence of events. But I think the way you counter that is to be very clear about what you're doing as an NGO, what you're delivering, how you're doing something that no one else is doing, the value that you're adding, and that's what we intend to focus on going forward. I think it's a combination of the individuals that we help, that whether it's a family member of someone who was deceased or maybe someone who survived some really terrible torture, knowing that they want answers and they need answers is quite profound. At the same time, you have to put it in a broader context. How do you change the policy? How do you change the rules themselves so it doesn't happen to someone else? And I think it's the combination that gets me encouraged despite lots of things that are madly discouraging. I think the biggest thing we hope to do is engage people, not just politicians, not just media, but individuals, so that they take responsibility. A lot of our work centers on what the UK government, specifically the military, the security services are doing. And of course the UK government is doing that on behalf of the UK citizenry. So whereas the engagement on the part of the individual, that's what we really need to reach out and going forward, make sure that the people that we're serving are also spreading the word with the other individuals so that it moves from just being a sort of top-down approach and really is something that there's lots of engagement by the wider community. Otherwise, I don't think things really change just because NGOs want them to change. They change because large groups of people demand it.